Welcome guys to part 2 of Tactical Arbitrage training with Mr. Christopher Grant. We will be going through, or he will be going through reverse search today. So part 1 was product search. Part 2 will be reverse search, and arguably even more flexible and more, and just even better than product search.
Yeah, I especially enjoy the reverse search. I think it's really powerful, and I'll share with you guys what I know about it. So, okay to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the pieces of good news for my Canadian brethren is that Storefront Stalker now works on level 1 in the bestsellers. So what this will do is if you have Storefront Stalker Pro and you have your keys put in, if you don't, let me know and I can just do it for you. I'll just need your username and proof that you bought Storefront Stalker Pro, and I'll throw them in there for you. What you can do is you can reverse search the top 100,000 from the top level categories inside the bestsellers. Now, when you go to Amazon bestsellers, actually, I'm going to have to Google this because I'm not sure I've ever been on the Canadian site for this. Oops. Oh, that's not a nice book to come up.
No, it's not.
Oh, come on. There we go. So in the US, and I would imagine in Canada as well, when you go look at the bestsellers, you just get the top 100. Is that correct? Yeah, 81 through 100. So you only get the top 100. Well, the thing is there's sales velocity outside of that. I'm sure in Canada as well as just like it is in the United States, items sell quickly outside of the top 100 all the time. So with the reverse search, you could go into video games and you could grab the top 100,000, do a reverse search on them, and if they show up somewhere else, it'll pop up for you with all the data, just like a regular product search. So there's a couple of things I'm going to show you guys. This up here is also show title matches, and what that means is out of the box, reverse search is going to check for UPCs first and foremost. If you also want the reverse search to check title matches, if a UPC or an ASIN doesn't exist or it can't find it, you can tick this little box and it will expand the search criteria. So this can cause a little bit more work on your end, but it can also expand it'll expand the net a little bit and allow you to see some more. Okay. You can import bulk product codes, and these are codes, or ASINs is what they are. They call them bulk product codes, but they're ASINs. And there's a couple of ways to grab these. You guys will remember from the product search, we showed the Tactical Edge feature and how we could download whole storefronts with Tactical Edge. So you can automatically upload those. Actually, I think this one may be from the one we showed last week. This is my first account, which is the one I do support with, so it doesn't get used very often. But the other thing is if we actually go out to Amazon itself and grab the ASINs, we can upload that file. All you do is grab those ASINs, choose TA file, name it, and then you can upload it to Tactical Arbitrage under this import bulk product codes. Now, it's very much like uploading a bulk list like you used to have to do in the product search. You just choose the file, we go and find it, And as long as it matches, it will find everything for you. It'll find the UPC column, it'll find the ASIN column, and you can upload that. The quick search will allow you to do a single all the way up to 100 ASINs or UPCs. Now, what this means is if you have a really good seller and you just want to see if there are more sources for that, you can put in that single ASIN. If you have 5 or 10, you can do that as well. They must be comma separated, and it doesn't matter whether it's an ASIN or a UPC. Now, I will tell you that something I also use this for outside of selling on Amazon is when my wife asks me or tells me that she wants something, I will go find it on Amazon and then throw the ASIN in here and do a quick search on it to see if I can find it anywhere else cheaper. So while you guys are doing Christmas shopping, that's one way to save a few bucks. One of the new features is the quick keyword search. This quick keyword search is pretty cool. What you can do, I'm trying to think of a keyword. What's something popular in Canada? Other than poutine.
Hockey's popular.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So what you can do in the quick keyword search, and we'll do this one live, is you can do a search for a keyword. So it's just like you're going out to Amazon and pulling up hockey as the keyword and then doing an ASIN pull. You can type in the word hockey, and then you can even drill down into categories. So if I just want to check out what's in the sports and outdoors category under this keyword, I can do that. And if we hit search, it should go out and find anything with hockey in the title, whatever might come up when you are doing a keyword search, it should pull those items. And it says 230, so it's still building the list. And that will grow. I can't remember if it goes to 1,000 or 10,000. I can't remember, but it'll grow and grow. And then once it finally finds everything, it will actually do a reverse search for us and see everything that is that's profitable, that fits your filters. I'm actually going to stop this so we can continue on. Now, the store prices or the filters are also important here. On the store prices, you're going to lose the discounts on the filters on the reverse product page. However, if you go into your settings and you set up any discounts in the settings, then they will be pulled into the reverse search. Now, I know you guys don't have as many discounts as we do down here in the U.S., but if it's possible, if you guys do have any, make sure you're putting those in the settings. That way they get pulled and you actually get the proper price. But if you are paying sales tax, and you do want to put this in here, and it will adjust the price and the ROI accordingly. And then everything else pretty much looks very similar to the product search. You can remove the current, the average 30-day, or the average 90-day ranks over a certain number. And I'm gonna share something with you guys that I've been doing lately, which I didn't always do. I'm not sure what the sales velocity in Canada looks like, and I'm pretty familiar with what it is here in the States. So I have actually, it's Q4. I'm starting to look for toys. I have actually taken my ranks from the normal 250 to 300,000 that I'll do, and I've actually taken it all the way up to 750,000. And I'm not doing, sorry if you guys can hear that, my Tactical Arbitrage account is stopping and making bells. I've actually taken that to an average 90-day of 750,000 for toys. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to see more, And I especially want to see items where there's maybe only a merchant fulfilled seller, or perhaps the price is just insanely stupid from a drop shipper, or heck, maybe there's just something wrong with the listing. It takes a little bit more work, but if you fix the listing, a lot of times you can turn a garbage product into something that will actually sell. Remove products if the number of sellers is more than X. We talked about that last time. If you want to keep your competition low or nominal, you can put in the number of sellers you don't want to compete against. Again, I warn you not to be too harsh on this filter, and really worry about how many people are actually competitive for the buy box. You can remove third-party sellers from results. This is, again, that's only Walmart. Heather says, because you've set selling at to .ca, is this looking for profitable products on .ca to sell on .com? Okay, so the way I have mine set up here is buying from Canada and selling to Canada. But if you click this and you have it sourcing from Canada and selling at .com, that will source from Canadian sites and sell on the .com or Amazon.com. It'll take care of the changes in currency and all that good stuff too.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of our members do sell on .com, source in Canada, and do sell on .com. So the information that you're providing here is still relevant.
Perfect. You can remove oversized products if you want. You can remove out-of-stock products. The removing out-of-stock products is nice. You'll have fewer results to go through. However, you can always set in-stock alerts. So there are a lot of times, it's kind of like a keep alert, but at Walmart. I'm sure everybody's done it. I set them all the time on Walmart and Toys R Us, so I can see when items come back in stock. So I do like to see those. You can remove if Amazon contains no weight or size data. If you don't do this, you will see a different color for the weight or size data, and also the ROI. Those should be red. Then you can remove if Amazon's also a seller and now in stock. Now, this will work if Amazon's actually selling the item and they're currently in stock. I have some people who will say, hey, I was looking at this Keep a Graph and Amazon was in stock like 3 days ago. I'm like, yeah, but they're not now. So it is now in stock. Remove if number of reviews is less than X. In case you want to make sure that there's a certain number of reviews on an item. You can remove if the rating or the stars is lower than a certain number. And if you guys remember from last time, you can use a decimal point in this filter. It doesn't have to be a solid number. Remove products with an Amazon price of less than X. So if you want to sell products that are selling for, a minimum of $12 or $15 or $20, you can set that here. Remove products if the Amazon title contains the words. This filter was built for bundles, bulk, quantity, count, anything where there might be multiples of an item if you don't want to see them. Now, I tell people to try not to use this. There are some people who absolutely do not want to sell multi-packs or anything like that. However, when you're looking at the results, you can change the quantity and it will automatically reconfigure the ROI. And the reason I tell people not to use this is I'm selling a product that comes in a 2-pack right now for like 120% ROI, and it's something, nobody would, it's not a sexy product. It's just an ugly product that sells regularly. So I would not have found that if I had put, count or CT in here.
Yeah, just be mindful of that. You guys are not including those words. That you guys make sure that that you are looking at the count. Like if it's a 12 pack and you're only looking at one single unit, and it might look like it's such an awesome buy, it's such a good buy. So if you're not using this filter, just make sure that that the quantity matches up.
Exactly. Yeah, I was looking at a coffee Keurig pods tonight, and the Keurig pods, the pictures matched, everything looked really good, but the source site sold them in 18 packs, and you had to buy 6 to make it the multi-pack. So because it was 72 total. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. Remove product if Amazon buy box is not at least X. X times the store price. So if you want to do that rule of thirds, 30% for Amazon, 30% my buy price, and 30% for me to get 100% ROI. Well, it's 33%, but to get 100% ROI, you can use that here. Some people will do 1.5. It's a fairly unused filter, and I think I mentioned this last time. I can't remember who or why it was added, but it was added at someone's request. And then we kind of dove deep on this seasonal buy box last week. You can use this seasonal buy box, and it's more than just seasonal. You could use it for the average price data over the last week or the last month. But if you turn this on, it will compare the prices at the source site to whatever date in the past you might choose. So if you wanted to see, what the average selling price over the last month or over the last 90 days was of a product, this will figure it out automatically if you only want to sell items that, I've used this where I only sell items that have a good ROI based on the average previous 90 days price. And the reason I've done this is just to see if the item has had some price stability or if the price is coming down. But you do need to be careful when you do this, because when you put in this filter, if there are some major spikes or some major dips in the price, it can cause the average price to be a little bit off. So it's really great for seasonal. It's a cool feature, but always double check the numbers just to be sure you're not buying something that looks great and actually isn't. All right, we've got our costs next. You can put in your cost for prepping if you have a prep center, or if you maybe pay per diem to your prep help. You can also put in your approximate cost to ship to Amazon. I happen to see, I think Dixon posted it today. It looks like the rates have gone up significantly in Canada for shipping, which kind of sucks. So make sure you're updating those to whatever the current rates are. Was that even with partnered rates that you guys got jacked really high?
Yeah, I believe that was partner rates.
Ugh, that sucks. These filters here will figure into your ROI and your gross profit. So make sure they're filled in properly. I'll tell you what I do. My wife helps me prep and pack, and I get to pay her in a nice big hug. So I don't put anything here, but I do overestimate on my cost per pound to ship to Amazon. My cost is really somewhere closer to 20 to 25 cents per pound, but I put in 80 cents per pound to figure in the cost of my box and my tape and my dunnage and all of that stuff.
I think that's probably on the low end in terms of us when we have to ship to .com. If we also factor in companies like Stallion or Chit Chat who pick up the items for us and send it across the border for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're looking at like anywhere between 75 cents to $1.30, $1.40, depending on what you're shipping.
That's
Which is, I mean, it's not too bad. We also have the margin with the exchange rate too. So.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that. So yeah, like I've talked to the guys at Stallion and thought about shipping items over to Canada, but I don't know whether it's worth it or not, or if we even have anything down here you guys want. It always seems the other way around.
Oh, there's definitely, I know a few people who do .com to .ca flips.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a market there. It's definitely opportunities.
All right. Now, the important ones, profit and ROI. I say that these are important because a lot of people will get tripped up here. They'll say, I only want items that are 100% ROI, or I only want to see items where I make $10 or more, or they will fill in both. Now, filling in both of these filters is not inherently bad. However, if you are using some unrealistic figures, especially in today's competitive marketplace, you can severely limit the number of results that you get. So I would pull back a little bit and think about it. When I'm running a search and I want to cast my net wide, I will do 10% ROI and I'll leave my gross profit blank. And then, if it's something that doesn't fit what I'm thinking or what I'm interested in, then I'll get rid of it. But sometimes those items where you're only making $1 or $2 can sell really well or can be used as dunnage, like we've talked about before. I think we've talked about that before. So I want to see more, and then I filter it out myself. And then out of stock. This is also something that I think is important to use. You should not really use this show only Amazon out of stock results very often. And the reason is that you can get some false positives. You can, someone puts in the wrong UPC or, TA picks up a ASIN that actually has, multiple different listings, and one of them is out of stock and one of them's in stock. It can happen. But I do always use this also show Amazon out of stock results. And the reason is that while it's going through and looking at things, I do also want to see anything that might be out of stock, because you may hit a home run with a product that you can get that nobody else has. And then the last thing, of course, is you can save whatever filter that you might set up as a favorite. I only have, I have a bestsellers reverse search filter. I have one that I shared before, and then the wholesale reverse as well. So whatever I set up in here, I usually save, and I name it something so that I know exactly what it is every single time. So that's how we do everything on the page. The next part is going out and finding items to reverse search. So, Dang, if you would tell me what is more prevalent? Is it more prevalent to buy on .ca and sell on .com, or is it more prevalent to buy on CA and sell on CA?
I'm gonna go with the former. I do most of my purchases are I buy in Canada, I sell in the U.S.
Okay.
I know that there are a ton of us who do sell on .ca, but I think it's very common. Like I think um, it's well known that .ca is just nowhere near the amount of volume and the amount of just consumers looking than
Okay.
on .com. So
Perfect. So one of the things that you can do, we've talked about this storefront stalker feature over here, and I was showing you .ca to .ca first. On .ca, you only get the first level of bestsellers. If you're selling on .com, you also get the second, third, and fourth levels of bestsellers. So I'll show you what that means. If we go to baby products, you could search the top 100,000 best-selling items, but then you can also dig down into baby and toddler toys, and this is probably restricted for a lot of people. But in baby and toddler toys, now we can find the top 3,000 best-selling items. And if we go even a little bit deeper and just look at activity play centers, we can again find the top 3,000 selling activity play centers as well. And then if you want, well, this one doesn't go any further, but in some of the categories, you can get down to a level 4 if necessary. I don't typically go that granular unless I was doing some research for maybe some wholesale items, or if I was doing some research on like a PL product. I probably just wouldn't pull that information. But let's talk about going out and grabbing ASINs to be able to import to the reverse search. Now, if you're using Storefront Stalker Pro and you have these open, these are great to use, but the really powerful part is the importing the bulk product codes. What you guys will see is that you can import up to 25,000 ASINs at a time. No, Storefront Stalker is not free to use. You have to have the Storefront Stalker Pro extension up here, and there's 2 choices for it. If you want the keys only, which will open up the Storefront Stalker over here, and the features in Tactical Edge, I think it's $89 or $99 for a lifetime license. And if you want the extension to go along with it, I believe it's $199. And that's a lifetime license. But let me show you what we can do with this. Let's go to Amazon.com. And I typically use action figures as an example. So when we type in the word action figures, we can see that there are 442,985 results. That is too many to be able to grab with Storefront Stalker Pro. You can get up to 9,600 or 400 pages at a time. So what I do, and if you happen to have any of the Amazon bulk lists, I'll do this just by going in and picking a link. But you can do this manually. We'll go to Action and Toy Figures. That gets us down to 296,000. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's weird. All right, so then I will go 14 years and up. No way. Let's just do Marvel. All right, so this gets us to 1367. This is digestible for Storefront Stalker Pro. You can actually do up to 9,600, so I'd probably take some time and actually maybe knock this off of here. That's a little bit better. Okay, so just Marvel gets us 4,400. Now what you do is you go in and you right-click on Storefront Stalker Pro. You click all ASIN from this seller / page. And this is going to it's going to grab all 249 pages. It's going to give us around 4,400 ASINs. Now, before I actually go in and do a reverse search, I'll typically do several of these searches and grab items with Storefront Stalker Pro. I'll try to get my list as close to 25,000 as possible. As a matter of fact, if you right-click on Storefront Stalker Pro, you can take a bunch of links from Amazon in a CSV file, and you can upload them. Actually, I'll show you guys how. Now, what this is going to do, since I've uploaded this file, is this is going to go to every single link that's in the file, and every now and again it gets a little wonky and doesn't want to work properly, especially since I'm on a webinar. But it'll actually take every link from my CSV file, and Storefront Stalker Pro will go download these items automatically. Okay, and what you've got, oops, sorry guys. What you have to upload is a list like this. This is just a category list of groceries on Amazon. And you'll be able to go through each one of these and grab the ASINs from them. So I will typically go do a bunch of them, and then I will merge them together. I actually want to show you guys how to do that because a lot of people don't know how. You can do it manually if you want, but you can also do it automatically. If you go to a website called filesmerge.com, you can take multiple CSV files, grab them here, downloads. I'll actually grab all three of these. It's going to open those up and it's going to merge them for us. And then once it's completed, we can actually open that up. And instead of the 4,000 ASINs, we now have a nice big list of ASINs that we can run a reverse search on.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay. So, and the reason I like to get that as close to 25,000 as possible is I think we should be feeding Tactical Arbitrage as much data as we can to try to get as much data out as we can. Oh, Dixon, that's cool. I don't know, Dixon. Do you use are you a Mac or a PC guy? PC, okay, yeah. I know there's a way to do it on Mac as well, and I'm a Mac guy. I just haven't taken the time to figure it out. But it would be nice to be able to double click on icon. Okay, so what do we want to do next? Do we want to actually do a search and see if we can find some products? It's not like we'd be outing a. Oops, that's my personal one. It's not like we'd be outing a bunch of products to a huge group or anything. Or does anybody have any questions, comments, things they don't know how to do?
Maybe in the meantime, let's do a search in the meantime
Okay.
while everybody's
We'll do sourcing from Canada and selling at Amazon. Let's do sporting goods. I like sports and outdoors. Do you guys have sales tax up there, and what is it?
it's 13% in Ontario.
We'll do 13. All right. Let's see. We're selling on.com. So I'm going to do, actually, I'll be honest with you. If I have Storefront Stalker here, or Storefront Stalker Pro, I'm not going to use this rank filter at all because this is the top 100,000 selling. So I just want to see everything as much as I can. That's funny, Calvin. I don't care about remove if the number of sellers is more than X. I am going to remove third-party sellers. That only works on Walmart.com anyway. I don't know if it works on Walmart.ca or not. I don't mind everything else. I don't mind any of those. None of those. Those are good. My cost is going to be, let's call it $1.50 just in case. And we'll do 10%. Also show out of stock results. I'm going to save this as Canada to US.
So Maria asks, is Storefront Stalker Pro a must to really get full advantage of the reverse search in Tactical Arbitrage?
So if you want all of the features, it opens up more than just this Storefront Stalker feature over to the right. It also opens up the grabbing all the ASINs from storefronts in Tactical Edge. So yes, you have to have it to really dig into those. There are, if I'm being completely honest, there are ways to grab ASINs without Storefront Stalker Pro. Storefront Stalker Pro is probably just the easiest, and if you want to upload ASINs into Tactical Arbitrage, it has it set and ready to go for in Tactical Arbitrage format. So it's not a must, but it is very, very helpful. All right, so I've saved my filter, and I'm doing a sports and outdoors. And that's okay. Heather, stick to product search, being completely honest. Stick to product search. If you didn't watch the video from last week, watch the video from last week. You'll be able to find more than enough profit before you need to sink anything back into more tools. So I'm a tool seller. I've built tools. I'm an affiliate for tools, and I still don't want people buying them unless they either can afford it or justify it, or it saves more time than money, and so on. So let's see here. All right, let's hit search and see what we find. Oh, that's right. It only goes 100 deep in Canada. That really sucks. Wait. That's odd. Yeah, you can delete them, absolutely. Those are deleted. Shoot. I know there's, oh yeah. So if you pull them up here, you pull up like this wholesale reverse search filter. There's a little X over here. Just click the X, and now it's gone. Let's go grab some ASINs from Amazon. Or actually, I already have them, don't I? Let's go ahead and throw those in there. We'll do another search. All right, we'll let this run for a few minutes. Anybody else have questions or curious about anything with reverse search?
At what point do you feel that people should be using reverse search? Like,
honestly, from day one, to be completely honest, if you have a way to grab ASINs in bulk, because searching 100 at a time or searching one at a time, unless you're doing something very specific, I think is a waste of your time. But if you have a way to get bulk ASINs, then I would be doing it immediately, and I'd be doing it in tandem with the reverse search that's in product search as well. So, for example, today, my product search was all toys. It was Target and Walmart, toys and video games from both stores, complete categories with the reverse search on. And my reverse product search today was from the grocery category. I think I was able to do 2 scans of 25,000 a piece before I finished it up for the day. So I would try to be hitting 2 different areas at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tool's so powerful that there's kind of really no reason for you not to use it. You're just getting more ASINs and potentially more deals out of it.
Yeah, and I tell people this until I'm blue in the face. You know, some people see tactical arbitrage as the only toolkit we need, but I like to think of tactical arbitrage as a big funnel. We need to have as much data running through it as close to 24/7 as possible, and let it filter out the high level garbage, and then we go through everything else and get a little bit more granular with the products, and then figure out what we want to keep. And that's how I do it. Let's see what I did today. My search that finished, it was a fairly strict search, and I've got 895 products to go through tonight that I need to actually look on a more granular level. These were all 50% ROI. I'm looking for some higher return stuff, but it went through 226,000 items that I now don't have to go through.
Does anybody else have any other questions at all pertaining to tactical arbitrage? It doesn't necessarily have to be about reverse search. Just any questions in general. This would be the perfect time to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got another hour, so can I look at 800 finds in a night? Yes, I can. I'll tell you what. If you guys have the ability to write down something you like, then you guys will be able to do it. All right, let's go look at view data, and then Calvin, I will get back to that question. Sorry, my columns are messed up. Let me fix these. I'm not sure why these get out of order. These are so out of order. Sorry, guys. This take me just a second, or I will. I'll go nuts. All right, that'll be good enough for now. Okay. So when I'm going, there's 895 products here. Now, typically, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a moment and put all of these into a new folder, okay? So I'm going to select all. I'm actually going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this, what is today? Call this 10/11/2017 toys to be reviewed. And the reason I do this is I want to keep my data fresh, clean. I want to know where everything is. And when myself or my wife or my sister-in-law go through Tactical Arbitrage, we know what's going on. So I take all these items and I'm going to move them all to this new folder. And I'm going to go through each of the 8 pages. I'm going to put every single one in there. But for now, I'm just going to look through some of these with you guys. After DP, oh yeah, yep. After DP is usually the ASIN in the Amazon URL. DP stands for detail page. Okay, so the way I do this is I look really quickly. If there's no image, it's gone. Okay, I'm not going to take the time and look at these items if the images don't match, and I'll typically do this a page at a time. And I'll just scroll through. These images are different, but they're the same. Those look good. I can tell this is probably an eBay item, and yep, there it is, eBay. So I'll look at this. I will sometimes buy eBay. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Dixon. I never do that. So Dixon says that it's faster to download all, and then you could upload them. So I'll actually show you guys how to do that. If you're in this view data page, you can download all, and I'm going to download all the visible. Actually, I'm going to download all as a CSV file, and I'm going to save this. And then what we can do is I'm actually going to go over to that folder. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Actually going to go over to this folder here. Now what we can do here is we can import the data, and I'm going to import as is because that's how I exported. This one here. And then it should import all the data from the view data page, and we can see that 794 were added, none were skipped, and so now everything is here. I can go back to my view data page, and I can click on delete all. Dixon, that was great, man. I appreciate that. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so now that I'm actually looking at data, the way that I do it, like I said, is I go through, I make sure that the pictures match. If the pictures do not match or there is no image, like I would almost bet money that this is some sort of download or something. So I probably wouldn't even take the time to look at this one. This one gets deleted. That gets deleted. I don't take extra time. My goal is speed, and then like those, yeah, those don't match. So those are gone. I also don't typically go and look up, look for items. If they don't match, then I'm not going and looking for them to match later on. So I'll do that really quickly and try to get through all of them. If they don't have an image, if they obviously don't match, I'll get them out of there, okay? And then I start digging in a little bit further. Now, that's because I'm lazy. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, but that's the lazy guy's way. If you want to take any mismatch that you might have, and granted with Walmart and Target, I'm probably not going to have a lot of mismatches, but if I did, then I may want to dig in a little bit deeper and take some time to match some items up and things like that. Yeah, that's true as well. Now, the other thing that I'll do is before I actually start really digging into items is I might go over here and just see the items that are MF only, because if a merchant fulfilled seller has the buy box, it's very likely that I might be able to come in and get the buy box from ahead of them, even if it's at a little bit of a higher price. So digital code, that doesn't match. That's also a download. That one doesn't match. But this one here, that one looks like it may be a match. It's time for me to dig in a little bit deeper. I can see that the seller is a merchant fulfilled seller. Looks like they might have it above Amazon, if Amazon's actually still in stock. This is probably something I wouldn't sell. It doesn't sell very often. But if I did, this would be something I'd look at a little bit closer, because I might be able to take the buy box from the merchant fulfilled seller, because I don't MF, period. Once I'm finished with these and these are gone, then I'll start digging into the FBA sellers. I might start looking at what has the highest gross ROI or highest gross profit first, just in case I can't get through 800 items in one sitting. But it's likely I probably could in maybe an hour to an hour and a half. So I know Dixon and Dang are really good. So if you guys have something to chime in, please do.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're doing a great job right now. We actually did a webinar yesterday on reading the keeper graph and just how to determine what's a good buy. Um, and if you guys take that webinar and couple with the TA webinar Chris did last week and this one, it should give you all the ammunition in the world to be able to find really good deals.
That's crazy. I don't know if I'd sell that one. Maybe if I bought them all out or something. Well, no, it doesn't sell very often, but Q4 it might. Yeah, see, I will also, if it has a sales rank, guys, I'll sell it. Even if it might take a little while. But the next question was, does rapid search also work on reverse search? Yes, it does. However, you need to turn the rapid search on in your settings, not just on the front page. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here so you guys can't see it for a second, and I'll show you what I mean. Oops. Okay, so if you want rapid search to work in the reverse search, you'll actually need to turn it on here in the settings, and then it will work on all of them. Now, it only works if your cache is not set to live only. So what you're going to see in my cache, and this is my support account, so these are not the way I have things set up myself. You'll see my product search is live only. I use this for checking sites like Famous Footwear went down today. So I wanted to check it live, so it would not work on product search. But since I have cache on 5 days on the reverse search, it would work here. You can find that in your search filters. And then again, always make sure you hit the save button. Otherwise, it will not save and it will not go to rapid search. Oh, did it finish? It did. Let's see if we have any results in here or not. Oh, these are from, okay. So there are some items in here, it looks like. Let's see where this is from. Oh, Bonanza. If you guys are buying in the U.S. and selling in the U.S., stay away from Bonanza. That place is not good to buy from.
I've purchased from Bonanza, like in the summer. Sometimes this is the first time I ever purchased from them, and
Mhm.
I think in the last call you mentioned that stay away from Bonanza, and I went to check. I went to check my shipments, and it was like July 13th, and they didn't they hadn't shipped it, so I had to send in like a support ticket for that.
Ah, jeez. Yeah, so not a lot of people know this, but I actually got my start in e-commerce by drop shipping on eBay. Uh, and once I had, about 1,000 items on eBay, I opened up a Bonanza store, and I was a good Bonanza seller, but there wasn't much traffic. But most people, I mean, it's a Google garage sale, is what it is, and yeah, it can be really bad. But that's about it. I think this is pulling back some of my old searches as well, unfortunately. Let's go to the end here. Seems to have them mixed in. All right, here we go. So it looks like Paw Patrol Rescue Racers Rocky is profitable. I'm not sure why that looks that way. That's okay. That 90-day rank is pretty high. But this would probably sell in Q4. I know a lot of people. I know that's all my son's going to want for Christmas is Paw Patrol stuff. Any questions on the product view page? What you want to see, or how to change it? What the options are? Anything?
Just going back to Calvin's question he had earlier.
Oh yeah,
His question was he's curious to know what your high level strategy is in terms of your continual operation reverse search. What makes you choose storefront, stalker, export loads versus bestseller selections, etc.
absolutely. So I'll pick a day or two, and I'll go over the bestsellers. And when I go over the bestsellers, I typically use 1% as my return on investment because I just want to see anything that might be profitable. And then what I'll do is if there's something with any profit to it, I'll see if I can make the profit any better. However, I know there's going to be either a ton of competition or there's not going to be a lot of profit in a lot of those. The rest of the time, I will do Storefront Stalker export uploads, and typically it'll be in niches that I want to sell in. So I'm trying to sell some more grocery. I'm trying to get more replens. I've never been a big replen guy. I've always been like when I was doing RA, I really followed kind of in Beaver's footsteps, and I know he does a lot of clearance shopping. I was doing the exact same thing. I was hitting all the stores, all the clearance sections, and that was really about it. And I'm trying to change that as time goes on into something a little bit more replenishable based. So I'll do a lot of niche searches now on Storefront Stalker Pro. And bestsellers is just fast turn items. If I have a buck, I prefer it not to sit in my bank account. I'd like to just flip it as fast as I can.
Sorry, the other question was, do you have a VA? I imagine you have a few.
I used to. I have one of the reasons that I don't get as much done as I used to is that I have a hard time letting go. And when I do have VAs, if they're not doing it right, I tend to get a little on the frustrated side. And this is even though I preach using a VA. It's a good thing to have. But if it's not done exactly the way I want it the first or second time, I tend to get a little frustrated. And so I typically keep TA work in-house. And that's me as well as my wife, and my sister-in-law also lives with us and sells on Amazon. So I kind of share some of my finds with her as well. And we kind of all go through the information.
Cool. I don't imagine there's too many VAs out there who are doing it at the same standard that you expect as well.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Yeah, I have like my very first VA. She still messages me, and she, she's like, "Hey, I just got a new job with another person doing online arbitrage, and I taught her well enough that she's been steadily employed, but it's still just it wasn't where I wanted it." So, but there are some services that I've tried out that I've liked, but I have a control issue, and that's on me. So
Yeah, I use a VA, and I she works for me full time. I probably spent a total of like 15, 16 hours on Skype calls with her, just going through the workflow, going through the process, how I determine what's a good buy or not. And so she sets up all my scans. She does everything. I have sourcing schedules in place, and she will just upload all the things that she thinks are good buys into Inventory Lab for me. And then every morning I'll go through Inventory Lab just to determine if I'll vet the buys, and then I still make the actual purchases. So
nice.
that's one part that I haven't been able to let go. I don't know if I will.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd ever be able to let that part go. I know that like Shawn Michael, he does. He's got VAs who will buy for him, and I think that's great. But I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can outsource that much. Let's see here. How often do I refresh lists that I make via Storefront Stalker? So typically, if I'm making a list with Storefront Stalker, I'm using it once or twice, and then I'm typically getting rid of it. Storefront Stalker is so fast; I can make lists pretty quickly, and I'll just go make a ton of them. And I'll take 30 minutes to an hour and make them, or that I will outsource. Storefront Stalker, I'll outsource having somebody do that for me.
That's a good point, Maria. Don't 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 hire a VA to kind of do this for you until you completely understand the process yourself. Until you have a good workflow and actually have a process in place. Because I just so when my VA started working for me in the beginning, she had a ton of questions and she would choose really bad buys, but over time, as she became more experienced with it and just started seeing a lot more deals herself, the questions became less and less. So it's
Mhm.
almost a automated process at this point for me.
Oh, I will. Oh, sorry, Alex. I will outsource letting someone handle my Storefront Stalker Pro and going and making lists for me. Yeah, I like what Calvin says. If you guys don't see what Calvin says, he's got a VA part time, and the only thing they do is go through his TA finds because it's repetitive. It takes a lot of time and only has so many outcomes. And I would imagine, and Calvin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you have a spreadsheet with a very particular set uh, of criteria that you want them to save for you to actually do your final analysis on.
And I recommend
Yeah.
that's a very good point. Calvin, because I do recommend that if you are looking for a VA, it should be something that is repetitive. I find like they're good with those tasks.
Hmm.
At least when you're just even testing out different VAs, because yeah, I had to test out many in order to get to actually find the one that I use now. And she's great, but I had to do a lot of trial and error with people. But if you start them off with a task that it's a repetitive task, it's monotonous, and like Kelvin said, there's only so many outcomes. And then from there, you can see how well they work for you, and depending on just how proficient they are and how much initiative they show, then you can start delegating a little bit more work um, for them to do.
Hmm.
Uh, Jagvinder, there's many places. Upwork. There's one that I heard of recently called Free Up.
Yeah.
Um,
Free Up is run by a guy named Nathan. Shoot.
I think there's two of them, right?
Yeah. There's Nathan and Calvin that run, or not Calvin, Connor that run it. Those two guys will or run that together. They start at $5 an hour minimum. There's also onlinejobs.ph. Sean Michael runs a service, although I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. And
I
then
think there's one. There's like a varentals.com. I think
there's
that's
VA. Yeah, VA Rentals is run by Bob Steele. Dixon got it. It is ASS, um, for Sean Michaels. There's a ton of them. I mean, there's just a ton of them out there, to be honest with you. There's a bunch of websites that I found for freelancers just the other week, and places I'd never heard of before that do they have a lot of really great freelancers on there. That I had one of them do a small developing job for me and did a great job.
Alex. Do you expect them to sort through a certain number of products per hour? This is one of those things that you're gonna have to do yourself, just so that you have like a benchmark. So you go through a whole list, that'll take you 2 hours and see how many you can do. And then maybe size that down a little bit just for like the learning curve and things like, not as great of internet possibly. But you need to have some sort of benchmark before you can outsource it so that you know how much work that they're able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you make separate TA account logins for your VAs? No, you cannot have a separate login. However, you can password protect your settings with a different password than your login password. So here's what I do. I have a login username and password. I have a password on my settings tab so that they can't find out what my seller ID is and all that. However, I do have one VA who I've given that to, and she handles my she takes care of all of my trying to think, my XPath sites. So she's able to get in and add the XPath sites for me after I give her a website name, and she handles all of that for me. So I do give her that password as well.
Damn, that's a lot of XPaths. XPath. Maria.
So,
XPath.
so yeah, XPath. XPath sites are sites that are not in Tactical Arbitrage at the moment, but you can add your own.
Yeah, it's like custom sites that are not currently supported by Tactical Arbitrage that you can get coded so that it's compatible with TA. And I mean, if you can find a site like that, and you might be one of a handful of sellers that have access to it, especially like in Canada, guys. we're a lot more limited in the sites that we can source from. But if there are sites that you shop at or you stumble upon, if you can get a custom XPath site uh, written to be compatible with tactical arbitrage, then it could be an opportunity that you have to yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's and you can learn how to do XPaths on your own if you want, but I would suggest hiring that out. I have a lady who handles mine, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Who would do that for us if we? You would either need to like reach out to somebody like me, and I would have my developer look at it, or you can go and hire a developer. I had a developer from Upwork for a while who did it, and then I got a referral from a friend and hired his girl. And she was awesome too.
Oh, shut up.
And then he moved. He went and found some. Uh, Found a developer for his.
Sorry,
Yeah,
are we
that's
still
fair,
good on
Calvin.
are we still good on the call?
Yeah, yeah. Can you not
Yeah,
hear me?
no, I'm lagging a little bit. It just came up that my internet was unstable. I might have said shut up, meaning like I was talking to my computer. Well, I wasn't. I was. I realized I just said shut up, but I was talking to my computer because it came up an error that the internet was unstable. So I'm like, crap. I hope he doesn't think I was telling him to shut up.
No. Yeah, $20 is good. That's typically what I charge. I'm going to be completely honest. I pay my developer $10 a site, so $10 a site, and then I keep $10, and I usually pay her the other $10 to build me another site if I do a site for somebody else.
I just want to go back for a second and point out what Calvin mentioned. He said that it's worth noting that you can delegate VA's access to your Seller Central, which is a good point because he's saying I have mine only able to go in and try and add a product to see if I'm gated. Um, so that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. If you absolutely don't want to let them do that, uh, there are some extensions for that now too that you can use, but it's probably just as easy and cheaper to give them limited access. Lost me with XPath sites. So what XPath sites are is in the product search here, you're going to see all these regular sites. They're black. XPaths in here are blue, and what that means is it's one that I have added myself. It's not one that Alex and his development team have added. So you can add these sites, and like you're doing a Walmart.com search. Actually, let's do Canada. I actually have a couple of Canadian sites. So, um, CanadaComputers.com is not already in tactical arbitrage, but I can go and do a search on CanadaComputers.com. Oh yeah, see, yeah. So I had Tiger Direct before Tiger Direct was put in here. I need to take that out. But yeah, that's all an XPath is. Just an add-on site. My developer created the XPath CSV file. and then I uploaded it, and now it allows me to go in and scan a site. Is all that is. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Any more questions, concerns, thoughts? Can we go to the next step after going through the list? You mean like once you have products to look through and you've decided whether or not you want to make a buy or not? Like I'll be honest, my step after reviewing the items inside that product to be reviewed. Now there's not much more to the software. After you've seen the products inside of the view data or one of your saved lists, and you're ready to make a buy, you actually go to the source site. So let's see here. Reverse search. I'm sorry. View reverse. Now, the one thing that I will do is if I find an item that I'm actually going to buy, I will typically save that to a folder, especially if it's something I think I might be able to replen, so that I can come check it again easily. Now, on the tracking side of things, I lack in that area a little bit. I know what's supposed to be coming and whether or not I received it. But if we're talking like anything deeper than that, I don't track things so closely. I'm more of a big picture guy. I've got my accounting software, and that's about it. Okay, Heather, you have a wholesale supplier who won't provide you data sheets for 100,000 products because they don't have that feature available. Could you pay someone to create an XPath site for this website if you give them access? So the answer is maybe. If the wholesale website requires a login, Tactical Arbitrage cannot log in to a site yet. It's coming eventually. If it is a login site, you're going to want to hire someone or use a scraper. So I have hired people to scrape websites for me and pull back the data that I need. You would need UPC if they have it. Title would be helpful, and price. There's also things like Octoparse and ParseHub that will scrape sites for you as well. Pratik says, how many warm finds do you usually have to go through to find the really great product opportunities, i.e. solid sales rank and high profitability? I'm going to default to Dixon and Dang on this because I'm selling in the U.S. to the U.S., so I'm guessing there's maybe a little bit more opportunity or a little less digging that might have to be done.
Yeah, there's definitely more opportunity in Canada. Just there's just less of us sourcing on these sites.
Mhm.
But when we get when we get the results back from a tactical arbitrage scan, then there's all the filters in the world that you can use to your advantage here. So whatever filter, if you only want to find products in the top 1% or with a particular net ROI or net profit or ROI, then you go through those first, right? If there's if there's 100 products and only 50 of them what your minimum criteria is for net, then like that's kind of the point with tactical arbitrage, that it gets straight to, like, the meat of the good buys. Does that answer your question?
Pratik said thanks. Product search related. Do you know if there are plans to expand EasyBulk to all Canada sites? As far as I know, yes. So EasyBulk, EasyBulk is actually coming from Tactical Bucket. It's all coming from an API. So as Tactical Bucket expands, that information should also expand. Or I'm sorry, those EasyBulk lists should also expand. I'm guessing you guys have Walmart.ca, right? Nope, not yet. Do you guys have any EasyBulk sites? There we go, Toys R Us. Yeah. So they'll keep coming. Like I noticed, I got an email that just today, Kohl's.com was added to the U.S. I'm not sure if it's been updated in Tactical Arbitrage or not. It has. Yeah. So as soon as they're released, they're thrown into Tactical Arbitrage through the API. And if anybody has a Tactical Bucket account, you can actually go and vote on what gets worked on the fastest. So I'll go in and I'll vote for a couple of sites that aren't in there yet that I really wanted to see. I had voted on Kohl's to get Kohl's added as quickly as possible, and today it was added. Jenny, you want to see how to use EasyBulk? Oh, Tactical Bucket? Yeah, we could take a look at Tactical Bucket.
If you don't mind, let's do EasyBulk too while you're at it.
All right, yeah, let's do EasyBulk over right here. So EasyBulk is a new feature since last week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do like we're shopping in Canada to sell on .com, and what I'm going to do is, let's say that I want to do toysrus.ca. So what I can do here is I can come over here to the EasyBulk section, and I can actually pick categories. So I'm going to do 12 to 14 years, and I'm going to add this to my EasyBulk selection. And you're going to notice right here that the bulk categories have been added. Now, I don't just want to do 14 categories, so I'm also going to look at 8 to 11, and I'm going to add those as well, and we can see that the bulk categories went up to 30. Now, I could do more. I can dig down deeper into each of these levels if I really want to. I could just do 8 to 11-year-old action figures or arts and crafts or anything like that. But I typically stick around this level 1 area for the most part. Now, once you have these items over here in the bulk categories section, you can click on the Save and Edit button, and you can go through and see every single category that's going to be in your bulk list. Now, you can download this to upload it later. Very easy. This is true.ca. You can also name this for later use. So this is true.ca 8 to 14-year-old toys. Well, sorry, guys, I cannot type. So I'm going to save that. And now I have this saved for use later. If I want to delete a couple of the items, maybe I don't want any action figures, I don't want any bikes or any play sets, I can delete those out of here. I can rename the list. And then I can also go to my list manager. And what this is going to do is this is going to show me all the lists that I have. So I have a Walmart Toys. I have a Toys R Us Canada. I can delete these. I can download them. I can rename them all from here. Now, once you have these bulk categories selected, and then we go in and put in one of our filters, we can hit search, and now we have a bulk category list. It's uploaded automatically. It's been built right in Tactical Arbitrage, and it's going to go and do that search for me and then save that bulk list for later if you want it to. And that's really all it is.
I mean, all it is quite a bit.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Amazing feature.
Yeah, it's really, really cool feature. I really like it a lot. You know, it was pretty simple before, but now it's dead simple. You know, you build everything right inside of TA. It's great. Sorry, Calvin, PM me on Facebook, and I'll give you his name and stuff. Let's see here.
Another reason, guys, why you should get Tactical Arbitrage and use it. Alex's and his development team, they're continually adding features. They're continually, listening to feedback and making the software better and better.
Yeah. Next up, there are a couple of big features coming up that I know Alex has already talked about. There's some other features I'm not allowed to talk about yet because they haven't been discussed publicly by Alex. But the next two big ones that are coming is going to be a sales velocity estimator. It's going to be the most accurate on the market. It's gonna make Jungle Scout look like Bush League, and all the other ones are not going to be able to hold a candle to what Alex has been able to do. And then there's also the new image search algorithm that's going to be coming out. So you're going to be able to go to a title-only site, and you may have only gotten maybe 10 or 15% matches before. And when the new image matching algorithm comes out, you're going to be looking at getting somewhere in the range of 70 to 80% matches on items that would have never matched before. All right. Now, okay, before we talked about Tactical Bucket. I'll show you guys what's in Tactical Bucket. So, the guy who started Tactical Bucket, his name is Javier San Juan, and he's a really, really nice guy from Spain. So he tried to take everything that everybody was kind of doing in a fragmented way and put everything together. So you are able to go here for your discount list. And now what I can do is I can go to USA. And this is going to show me all the sites that they have where they know what the discount is. Now, sometimes they're wrong. For example, lids.com is not paying 1,200% cash back. So you've got to check on some of these. I take these ones that are outliers, and I just forget about them. But Talbot's, this is probably correct. Discount gift card of 36%, which would not surprise me for Talbot's. Yep, there you go, 36%. You got to spend a lot of money to get it, but it's available. And then you can get 8% cash back. So these are all things that you can look at to see where you might want to start sourcing. You can check Canadian sites. Okay. You also can see the top-rated sellers. You can search a storefront name. You can search a storefront ID. You can see that Amazon warehouse deals. Let's see, how do I have this sorted? So let's do estimated products. So I'm going to sort this by the estimated number of products they actually have in their store. Book Depository US is at 9 million. So they have an estimated 9 million products in stock, it says. Now, they're probably a merchant fulfilled bookseller. Let's go take a look. 89% positive. That's insane. Yeah, so they're merchant fulfilled. They don't have a prime sticker on any of these items. But you can go through and look at all those. And it goes 100,000 deep. 102,000 deep. In the ASIN list tools, you can see the top bestseller ASINs. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about storefront stalking. I forgot to mention that earlier. So if you guys have Storefront Stalker Pro, let me go back. All right, so let's say we just want to pull up this Blessing store. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know Book Depository was an Amazon company. That's interesting. So this Blessing store, we can go to this Blessing store storefront. And if you right-click on Storefront Stalker Pro, you can grab all the ASINs from this seller/page. Now, it says that they have 1 million items in stock. It's impossible to grab 1 million items with Storefront Stalker Pro. You can go 100 pages deep. That's 2,400 items. However, the other thing that you can do is when you have Storefront Stalker Pro, inside of Tactical Arbitrage in the Tactical Edge feature, you can actually download much deeper into that storefront. And you can do that for as many storefronts at once as you want, multiple times, everything. And then if you use a place like Storefront Scheduler, you can get notified when they issue new products, which is pretty cool, but probably more than we need to get into tonight. Let's see what else Tactical Bucket will do. Tactical Bucket does have an ASIN extractor on it as well. So you can go and download storefronts from Tactical Bucket. The reason I don't suggest them over Storefront Stalker Pro is because Tactical Bucket is a monthly fee rather than a one-time fee. But it is built into here. And then we've got the bulk list tools. Now, The bulk lists are mostly built into Tactical Arbitrage already, but if it's not, they have some here available for you. So I don't know. So let's see how many they have for Canada. Okay, so I'm guessing all the ones that are in Canada are already in with the easy bulk. So now the other thing you can do is you can get some XPath and category lists. You can request these or subscribe to the ones that are already built. You get like 4 per month, I think. But if you decided to sign up for this, if you use my code, I don't get a commission, but I think you get like an extra couple of XPaths for the first month or something. I think. I can't remember 100%. But you can go in here, and every month you get like 4 XPath sites, and you can pick from the ones that are already built, and you can also request them. There's custom private XPaths that you can purchase and have them built. You can do multi-store bulk lists, which is also something that you really don't need anymore with the easy bulk. And then this store search buddy. Let's do UPC. Actually never used this, so I'm not 100. Oh, you can. I'm sorry. You can actually go and do toys, and it should pull back every toy category from every site in Tactical Arbitrage. You can grab those if you want. So that's kind of how Tactical Bucket works. It's just a bunch of tools that work hand in hand with Tactical Arbitrage, and it's great. And the cheapest is $67 a month. But again, I don't have an affiliation. I mean, I know the guy, but I don't get any affiliate commissions or anything like that. And then we talked about voting on upcoming stores. You can actually vote on what stores are brought to Tactical Bucket to use. Oh, is it $39 a month? All right, when I got my account, I just went straight for the 67. Maybe he's changed things around. All right. Any questions on that or any Tactical Arbitrage questions? Auto refresh. Talk about the auto update feature. Okay. Yeah, we can do the auto update feature. I messaged Javier at Tactical Bucket, and he indicates he will build XPath quickly for Canadians. We have just 2 Canadians, but all features will continue special treatment because people from UK and Canada less than a handful request whatever XPaths they want, and I get those done first. Sweet. That's cool. So basically, Tactical Bucket is putting Canadians at the top of the list. All right, so let's talk auto refresh, and then I will probably need to call it a night and make sure that my son is still in bed. So if you are using the auto update feature, if you find an item that is out of stock or doesn't currently fit your ROI or profit margins, then you can have it checked automatically. Now, the way that you want to do this is, well, the way that I do it is I actually go into my saved list and I create an auto update folder. I don't have any here, so I'm going to create one. And I'm going to call this out of stock items. So now what I'll do is I will put items in this out of stock folder that are not currently in stock. So if we find something from Walmart that's not in stock currently, but we think it should be in stock again later, it's not a discontinued item, and maybe it's just a regular household item or something. You put it in this out of stock folder here. And bear with me, I've got to go to my settings screen, guys. Oops, sorry, it's under notifications. And we come over to our notifications tab, go to auto updates. And then what we're able to do is we can choose what folders get selected to be auto updated. Now, if you have less than 2,000 items, or I'm sorry, from 0 to 500 items, it can be updated 4 times a day. I always forget the figures here. 500 to 1,000 items can be updated 3 times per day. 1,000 to 1,500 twice per day. 1,500 to 2,000 can only be updated once per day. And once you get over 2,000 products, auto update's not going to work for you anymore. What this will do for you is you'll get a notification automatically if the items fit the filters that you set. So I set an ROI over 50% and in stock. Now you can change that. You can turn the ROI off and just know when it's in stock. You can have it only alert you when products satisfy both your ROI and in stock criteria. And then you're also able to use your set discounts for all saved product updates. So if you're adding your discounts here every single day, it'll actually use these discounts to figure out the adjusted price and tell you if an item is now meeting your ROI or if it's in stock and so on. So there's just a ton you can do with this, especially if items are out of stock or maybe they occasionally fit your ROI criteria. You can kind of just build yourself a lead list for the future.
Any last questions, guys? I know we're approaching the 2-hour mark. There's been a ton of amazing. I'm learning so many things here. I'm gonna have to go through and watch the webinar myself again. So if there's not any last questions, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Grant once again for
Absolutely.
doing this and for doing it for free too. We're not you're not expecting anything out of this, which is awesome. It's really appreciated. I appreciate your time. One other thing. Do you want to mention your course? I know you've been working very hard on a new tactical arbitrage training. So as most of you guys know, we don't do any type of pitches or any type of affiliates in our group. But the amount of value Chris has provided here is he's provided a ton of value here. So we have no problems whatsoever. Dixon and I use tactical arbitrage, and we stand by the product 100%. So we have no problems with you talking about your training.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so I did team up with Nate McAllister. We put together. I've done tactical arbitrage trainings in the past. They were difficult at times because they were live, and we'd go 2.5 hours every time. So I decided to put together an actual course that's all pre-recorded. And I'm also going to be adding to it as time goes on and I think of new things or a new feature comes out. But yeah, and we've also included, Nate McAllister is the creator of Storefront Stalker. He also put together a training on how to find, train, and get a VA. So that's all included. We've got a bunch of XPaths included and some other bonuses. But yeah, if you're interested in a soup to nuts training on tactical arbitrage, you can check out tactical-academy.com. And we'd love to have you if you need it. If you don't, no hard feelings. But if you do, it is a complete course. It's coming up on 6 hours or so, and I've got more videos to put in there.
I think this is probably something that I'll get my VA to go through. I'm gonna buy some training for her so she can go through the course material. Because I know
Nice.
there's just been a ton of updates. Since I hired her, there's been a ton of updates.
Oh yeah. So I'll be keeping it up to date with all the new features that come out. The minute they come out, the minute I figure out how to use it properly, that'll get updated. And then I've got some tips, tricks, and hacks that I go over in there as well. Susan, it's tactical-academy.com.
Is that it? Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. Yep, that's it.
Cool. All right, Chris, thank you so much once again. This has been very good. And for you guys, I'm going to be uploading this to the YouTube channel again, and I will post the replay in the Facebook group in the morning.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
For sure, 100%. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.